means coming home from grade school and seeing grown men and women sobbing in front of the TV. It means not really wanting to see the news, but having to watch, like when you're driving by a car accident. It means seeing the whole country feeling the same way for once, finally being united on something.
9/11 to me reminds me a lot of Pearl Harbor. Obviously it was horrifying and a dark day in our history, but it also makes me think of what children 10 or 20 years from now will say when 9/11 is brought up in a conversation. Because a lot of people nowadays aren't all that familiar with Pearl Harbor. I assume kids won't understand 9/11. 9/11 to me also reminds me of the panic and shock that everyone felt. I remember teachers telling us to get on the ground in the corner of the room. But it also makes me think of our nation sort of coming together to mourn the losses, to thank all the firemen and people who helped, and to move on, which is what we need to do.
To me, 9/11 means remembering all the innocent people that were hurt or killed during this war.
9/11 to me kind of is like a day of remembrance, and it's also, well, from talking to the adults about 9/11, for them it was kind of like a part of security that they lost from that day, and for our generation it was kind of, the starting point of our childhood. I mean, there was 9/11, the war after that, Krystina, and all these other things. And for me, it's basically about taking all those things and turning it into something good, like the charities for the firefighters in 9/11.
I guess it means a lot of suffering and a lot of stuff to overcome. I think it means, it was just a whole incident that brought the whole country together and then ended up just splitting us apart again. There's so many controversies and stuff, but I think it brought a lot of people closer together and it gave us all a chance to really see that things are really not what they used to be and that things need to change. And there are bad people out there that are trying to hurt us, and it was just a sad reminder that the world is never going to be perfect. The world is an ugly place, but there's still some beautiful things we can find, and I think the bringing of people together and, the tightening of bonds of families is the most beautiful thing we can find in that.
9/11 is a time of remembrance, time to think about the victims of September 11th, their families, the heroes that sacrificed their lives to try to save others, and soldiers that have gone to serve. It's a time, I think, to think about our nation and our freedoms and what those mean to us and how valuable they are. And for those that have served, to try to protect those freedoms. And I think it's a time to think about what unites us and what serves to break us apart and separate us, and hopefully to try to secure a better future.